So you've been thinking about moving to Los Angeles, where you probably want to avoid moving here unless you can handle these 9 negatives I'm about to discuss, and we're going to get to it right now. What's going on, everyone? This is Rob Coleman with Equity Real Estate right here in Los Angeles. If this is your first time in this channel, you want to know everything about living, working, and playing here in Los Angeles, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell and get notified every time we do a new video. Me, my team, and I get calls every single day from folks just like you looking at the LA area. So if you're thinking about relocating here anywhere in Los Angeles, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We got your back whenever you decide to move to Los Angeles. So number one is the cost of living. Obviously, it's not cheap to live in Los Angeles. It may be breaking news to some, but if you live here long enough, it's actual fact. So it's actually ranked the 5th most expensive city, right behind cities such as San Francisco, New York, and DC. By the way, when you get a chance, check out my cost of living video suggested above. I'll go into more detail about what it costs to live here. Next is the traffic. LA is ranked 6th according to U.S. News and World Reports, with almost 4 million people living in the city of LA, including not just the city but surrounding counties. The people that come in and out of LA on a daily basis, there's a lot of cars on the road. So imagine all the 9-to-5ers, the people that work irregular hours, graveyard shifts. There's a lot of people just with cars on the road at any given time. So if you decide to move here, I suggest try to move to a location that's closer to your work, where you can minimize your commute to probably 30 minutes or less. And also try to plan around the peak times of traffic, which usually is from like 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning, or from 3 to 7 p.m. in the evening. Those are usually the peak times for traffic here in Los Angeles. Next is the wildfires and earthquakes. LA, unfortunately, is no stranger to natural disasters, particularly when it comes to wildfires and sometimes earthquakes and mudslides. So you're prone to wildfires depending upon where you live, not so much close to the beach or close proximity to the city. But if you decide to live in the area that has a lot of brush and mountainous areas, just keep that in mind. I often hear East Coasters mentioning their fear of earthquakes, and though yes, of course, we've experienced 1 or 2 frightening earthquakes during our lifetime, and I probably slept through most of them for real. But it's something to be aware of, no doubt, but I wouldn't deem it as a reason not to live in LA. And through unexpected trying times, the city usually finds its way back to its feet. Next is homelessness. LA is ranked 2nd behind New York in terms of homeless population. The city has actually spent over $600 million in recent times to address the problem, of course, towards housing and municipality resources. And hopefully it's a problem they can resolve in the very near future. Let's talk about public transportation. Unlike most metropolitan cities, LA does not have quite an extensive public transportation program. We do have a bus and rail system. In some neighborhoods that's just so hilly and sprawling there, it's absolutely no way public transportation is available. You must either have a car or Uber to get to certain places of LA. And because of that, it's nearly impossible to live in LA without a car. Of course, that's an added expense. And of course, you sometimes got to deal with the stress of dealing with traffic. Let's talk about the airport. LAX is extremely busy during peak travel periods. It's actually the 2nd busiest airport in North America. And even upon arriving on the airport premises, sometimes it can take you 30 to 45 minutes just to arrive at your actual terminal. So I'll tell people who've actually just recently moved here, make sure you plan ahead so you don't miss your flight in terms of when you're traveling out of LAX. So let's talk about the lack of seasons here. So even during our winter time, which is usually between the months of November and March, we usually average between 60 degrees, and during spring and summer, we usually average between 70 and 90 degrees, which is mainly like a dry heat. So you're coming from like a winter city where you're getting snow or you're getting fall weather. Pretty much you're not going to get that here. But if you're looking for a snow adventure, we actually have Big Bear, which is actually a 2-hour drive from Los Angeles. Let's discuss the freeways here. The freeways here can be confusing. You have the 101, the 405, the 5, the 10, the 105, and the 110, which all run through Los Angeles. Matter of fact, you can pop a champagne for the 405 freeway because it's actually considered the busiest interstate in the entire country. When I first moved here like a decade and a half ago, I actually used one of these devices. It's actually a dinosaur now, which is a TomTom, to kind of help learn the freeways a lot better. So, of course, you have your smartphones, but When in terms of navigating through the highways, I recommend using the Waze app, which also kind of helps you give you real-time traffic information. So just something to be aware of, just all the interchanges and how the network of freeways run through the city. And lastly, let's talk about the parking. Parking in Los Angeles can be beyond ridiculous. The reason why so many businesses offer valet parking in Los Angeles is the fact that parking is unnecessarily burdensome for drivers in the city. The parking signs can actually be exceptionally complicated. You must make sure to read each sign carefully to ensure that you have permission to park in that spot at the time of your arrival. The laws for parking are rigidly enforced as well, and which means you almost guaranteed to receive a ticket even if you misread the instructions that were presented on the sign. Once again, my name is Robert, and I'm a local real estate agent here. If you want more information about Los Angeles or any other community in the area, me and my team are getting calls every day from folks just like you looking at the LA area. So if you think about moving or relocating here, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. However you want to get a hold of us, we got your back whenever you decide to move to Los Angeles. Until next time.